The Internet Research Agency is one of the biggest Kremlin-funded groups behind the meddling in 2016. Robert Mueller indicted over a dozen members last year, and another was just indicted last month for interfering in the midterms, but hours before the polls closed Tuesday night. These same trolls released a list of fake Instagram accounts, and from there, it gets really confusing. Ben Collins is here to help me make sense of this story. This is a super confusing story, Ben. So I want to start with this. Who are they trying to trap here this time? Was it media? Was it social media? And did it work?
Sure. They were trying to trap all of us. They really tried to trap the media, and the media did not bite. They had like a 3-week plan where they tried to say that a member of the troll farm was really being effectively kidnapped by the troll farm, which we knew wasn't possible, and trying to defect from Russia. And there was a YouTube video about it that got pulled. It was a long story.
It's over the top.
It's way too much. It was like they're just trying too hard. They were just trying too hard this time, right? But on Election Day, what they did was they put out this website, and they said on the website that Facebook didn't catch us. We have dozens of Instagram accounts that we were using all before midterms, and those Instagram accounts did exist, but they were not that good. They just didn't. They didn't do what they did in 2016 to really affect votes.
So did they actually influence the campaign this year, or they just wanted to make us think that they did?
Right, they wanted to make us think that. And that's what it is with Russian disinformation, and it has been since the dawn of time, right? If they have something, they're really quiet about it. They want to keep it a secret so they can keep using it, and they can keep influencing American media. If they really don't have something, they get really showy, and they try to drum up fear about what they can do in the future. And that's what's happening here.
This is also an example of how these Russian disinformation agents are adapting and changing their tactics, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, again, last time in 2016, they had these really specific accounts that did really, really well. They wound up in the New York Times posing as Americans, and they got people out into physical spaces to protest each other in physical spaces. This time, it just didn't happen that way. We saw no evidence of that whatsoever, and because of that, they kind of had. It was Election Day, and they had nothing to show for it. So they had to go out there and be like, actually, we did all this stuff, instead of actually, showing what they did.
So in terms of how the general public is handling this,
sure.
I know our skepticism is a bit higher now when we're online, right?
Mm-hmm.
So were users actually interacting with these posts that were coming from these fake Instagram accounts? Were they sharing them? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so people are extremely skeptical of people posing as Americans thank God, by the way, on Twitter and Facebook. The biggest account they had really didn't turn political fast enough. It was called Fit Black Queens, and it was just Instagram models in sports bras. It was not an exciting political event, right?
Right.
That's the sort of thing that worked for them this time. And eventually, what they would do in 2016, they would turn on the political fire hose closer to the election. But that didn't happen. They didn't pull it off in time. They didn't get their tone right in time. And then they were just sort of lost. They just lost this time. It really looks like that.
So what I'm gathering from you, if Russian trolls are saying they're going to influence our election, they're probably not very effective. But if they're not saying anything, they're being very covert, that's when we need to have our guard up. So when we just look at 2016 compared to the 2018 midterm elections, how far have social media companies come, and then how far do you think that we still have to go?
Sure. So they had a great election day, like an A+ banner day that proved that Facebook and Twitter can be websites, exactly, that are filled with real information that people interact with. That was one day. Out of thousands of days.
It's a low bar.
It's a low bar. So hopefully they can keep doing this. They had teams, they had war rooms or whatever, filled with people manning these pages for disinformation accounts. So it's possible. We know it's possible now. Hopefully they can keep doing it. It's 2 days later now, and it doesn't look great. But again, if they remain vigilant with this stuff like they did on Election Day and the day before Election Day, we can snuff this out. It's possible.
Well, thank you for helping us make sense of all this. As always, Ben Collins, everybody. Appreciate it.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.